Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Oops.
Hello and welcome.
Something happened there.
This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime.
Let's go right to the show. It's already missed the part. Clicked on the wrong button and it went shooting over there. Look at that. The dogs aren't split tonight with the little split. But they always monitor. Benny on the left is always monitoring Clancy. Waiting for something. Hey, thanks Cheryl Bullock. Appreciate it. By the way, first thing I was going to bring up though is the, you know, in Australia, that 85-year-old that they cut the finger off of, they found his body. They killed him. How shitty is that? Mistaken identity, apparently. You know? This guy right here. Chris Bogsarian, maybe. Suspected human remains have been found in the search for abducted grandfather Chris Bogsarian. The suspected remains of the 85-year-old, who police say was mistakenly kidnapped, were found near the golf course. And then there's this image right here, and there was a golf course near Pitt Town, and then I went down and found the spot. It's looks a little different now because there's this part right here where it kind of cuts in, and then apparently there's this tent right over there. I'm assuming that might be where he was found, so that would be kind of like right over here. Yeah, right in this area right here. It doesn't look like that now. But, yeah, I mean, you can actually tell if you're looking at street view, if you go down, you can see that he probably was just driving by and, you know, a person and just went, ooh, here's a little side road right here, and then pulls off, and apparently you can drive over in that area now. But you can even see, I know it's the right spot. See that little white fence there? That's in the, you can see it right, you can see the white fence way down there. It's kind of small. But yeah, I don't know, man, it's pretty sad. It sounds like it's, you know, gang related. And hopefully they catch these idiots, you know. I mean, why wouldn't you just let him go? He doesn't know who the hell you are. So, anyways, sad news in Australia for the 85-year-old. That lasted pretty long. You know, that lasted longer than you would think. He must not have been falling. It's been, I don't know, seems like about a week. It's been a while. This one, you know, Nancy's case just is going on and on and on for a long time. All right, so let's do the, let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's, oh, we'll just get right to the main portion, I guess. So this is stuff we've been talking about. Remember how it already came out that the footage where he doesn't have a backpack was from days before? We already seem to know this, but it's like coming out. I even put it in that video that I made a couple days ago. Of course, it wasn't confirmed by the media or anything, but it was definitely already out there for certain. Poor Clancy got caught. What do you mean he got caught? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Let's see. Yeah, they were probably wrestling and growling and barking. Now, what do you mean moon theory? Yeah, I don't know. Sounds just as crazy to me now as it did before. All right, see, one of Nancy Guthrie's Nest doorbell camera, and it doesn't really matter. As I said before, I don't care if it was prior. I know it was prior, regardless. So if it was prior that night or it was prior on another date, it's irrelevant. But you always got these clowns that come in and they want to let everybody know, oh, because I said it was. I even said at the time, I don't care if it was the moon. Okay, if the moon wasn't out that night, and then this night it's out, and so forth, blah, 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 blah. People just they think they're super sleuths, okay? We've put all the little pieces of the puzzle together that we know of currently, all right? See, one of Nancy Guthrie's Nest doorbell camera images released by the FBI was taken on a different date than the others. A source with knowledge of the investigation confirmed to Fox News Digital on Monday. The new details indicate the masked suspect scouted the home in advance of the 84-year-old Guthrie suspected abduction on February 1st. So doesn't this make it seem more likely that there's just one person as well? Yeah, sure, it's okay to speculate, Jay, but you came in here acting like, like you had something and we discredited it. All right? If you make another comment like that, you're out of here, all right? I have no patience anymore for trolls and idiots that come in here. Just finally covered their first case. They're all really excited and they're just pros, Just follow along. You'll figure things out. Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, where's the other guy if there's, they're scouting. He's in the back too this time. And then there was somebody that was messaging me, he said that he's heard that other people are talking about a Faraday bag, one that blocks the signals from the surveillance cameras. And maybe that's what they did with the surveillance cameras, is they put it in a Faraday bag. But that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, because why in the hell didn't he just grab the camera off the front door and put it into the Faraday bag if that was the plan that he had? I mean, that shows absolute planning that you're going to take the camera off and put it into the Faraday bag. But you didn't do that. You went and got a plant and you tried to, put it up there and block stuff. And, it's ludicrous. Now, some people suggested he used the plant to pull it off. I don't know. The source declined to specify what day the earlier image was taken, citing but obviously it seems like it's going to be January 11th, because that is a specific date that law enforcement initially asked for, in the evening of January 11th and January 31st, which are 2 nights they know the same person was there. And then they went, okay, every day, They sort of backtracked on that. So it's probably a very good chance that it was on the 11th. You went and got a plant. Huh? Yeah, well, the guy went and... well, that's what it is. Right? He goes over there and picks up a weed or a plant and tries to cover up the camera. If he had a Faraday bag, he just went over, broke it off, threw it in there, and just started throwing all the cameras in there. But again, why would you need a Faraday bag? Oh, that would be an extraordinary amount of thinking about it. Oh, wow. Okay, so if I take this camera off, these are the kind of camera that are going to keep sending a signal, so I've got to get it into a Faraday. Faraday bags are usually used for blocking cell phone signals. I'm sure it would have a similar effect on a camera not being able to connect to a network, but that just seems like a really unusual sort of outside the box sort of, wow, man, we can put these cameras in a Faraday bag. That's just people wanting to use the word Faraday bag so they can let people know that they're aware of them. Okay, I just, it doesn't make sense. If it turns out to be the case, and this guy planned this to a degree that was way beyond anybody's thinking. All right. Hey, thanks, Joel Burnt and K-Me. Authorities have alternatively asked for neighbors to check their home security systems for the entire month of January, the night of January 11th, and the hours surrounding Guthrie's disappearance between January 31st and February 1st. The suspected scouting visit was first reported by ABC News, citing unnamed sources. Right, but I mean, this has been reported for days. I thought it was already suggested to one of the media types 3 or 4 days ago. Don't you guys remember that? The television also indicated that whether data the FBI and Google access to recover the missing video included more than just the final event in her camera memory. Let's see. Whatever data the FBI... Right. So it just hadn't recorded over that one yet. So there might, I'm hoping there's more video than what we've seen. Guthrie's doorbell camera disconnected at 1:47 a.m. on the night she was taken, according to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. At 2:12 a.m., one of her cameras registered a person. Doesn't it make you just want to discredit TMZ to a huge degree? Don't you remember when they were trying to sell the narrative that the bald-headed guy that had the 2 backpacks, and he was in Tucson, miles and miles away. To sell that narrative, they invented a story that some expert told him that at 2:12, that's actually the front door camera that recorded that. And then the timing worked because they knew that. And then even in the little he should get censored for that by the FCC or something. Because that is absolutely an intentional lie to put out there. I mean, he literally, you remember that, right before he did that, the other guy, his co-host, said, well, so at 1:47, he goes, let's not bring up 1:47. That'll just confuse the viewer. Okay, yeah. Our new expert said that at 2:12 was when that front camera filmed detected that motion that they're referring to. And then the video that we're seeing is they retrieve the video from that motion at 2:12. And it's not just reckless, it was intentional. I mean, I guess that is what reckless is, right? I mean it was like, it isn't sort of, it's willfully tricking people that are watching. Okay? That absolutely was done intentionally. Even to the point where he made sure that the other guy didn't bring up 1:47. Because I think the surveillance was something like 1:50, I don't remember the exact time, at 1:50 something, and it wouldn't be possible. So they want to make sure that wasn't mentioned, and we're just going to go with the 2:12. But we know that it wasn't true, just logically. We figured out, 1:47, they said on the timeline that the camera at the front of the house was disconnected from the network. Well, what does that mean then? That means that camera's never detecting motion or filming again that night after 1:47, right? Do you guys agree with that? It disconnected to the network at 1:47 and quit, it quit connecting to the network. So when they say at 2:12 a camera picks up motion, and because they didn't pay the bill, it could have written over that sector, whatever it was, and that camera could have filmed an animal, then that's going to be an outdoor camera in the backyard that filmed something else at 2:12. I suspect that at 2:12, that's the time that the suspect actually entered the home. And the time in between 1:47 and 2:12 was spent waiting to see if cops would show up on the first one. And then, I don't know, if he removed any other cameras, maybe the one in the front of the garage. I don't know. And then he goes through the, moves the car into the driveway, then goes to the back, enters the home. That's how I see it. And we know 100%, I am 100% certain that he removed the camera at the front of the house because he knew he was going to be parking his car right in front of the house. You know how I am certain of that? Because he didn't care that he was being filmed when he was in that archway there, that whole area. He was just walking around. He didn't care at all that he was being filmed. He's got his balaclava. He's got his, the gloves, the whole outfit on. Probably all new things that aren't things he normally would wear. And he didn't care about that. So what he cared about was what would be filmed on the camera in the future. However, Nancy Guthrie wouldn't help identify him because she lives there and that's who he's taking out of the home. What would identify him, however, or possibly do so, would be if the camera picked up his vehicle after parking it right there in that little turn area where he would obviously want to move her down the driveway and put her into the vehicle. Okay? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, out of all the things that you guys have heard, doesn't that make sense? And that's what we do here. We just go through the facts of the case and try to put it together. Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. I want to say thanks, Wild Bill Wassman, for all your amazing generosity lately. He's like one of the, bigger financial supporters, since he's been back and even before that. And there's other people, Marty's Bar and Grill, Chris O'Connell, and so many of the others that you guys are always supporting the channel. Keeping us going, moving forward. We've already donated $2,000 this month. So that's pretty amazing. And I want to get to where I can do 5 total. So if we can keep having good nights through the end of the month, we might be able to do that. What are you talking about? See that? Tried to tell you this tell me what the other night? We've all talked about it. We've all said it. That the footage was from another night. Possibly. Now it seems to be confirmed. It was already out there. Network had put it out there. Oh my God, you guys. Can we get rid of the... time out the people who come in with these little comments like this. I just don't have time for it, and nor do I want to respond to them. Let's see... what do I got here? See... That tried to tell you. See, that tried to. What the heck? Jesus. And also write better. My God. Let's see. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, the revelation also indicated that whatever data the FBI and Google accessed to recover the missing video included more than just the final event. Guthrie's doorbell camera disconnected at 1:47 a.m. on the night she was taken. According to the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 2:12, one of her cameras registered a person but did not record the event. Right. So, and see, the media has never put together the logic here. They just say things because, we got to hurry up and say it. You have to know that this one is disconnected. That means there's a different camera at 2:12 that detected a motion. And for that camera to detect a motion, let me go over, I'm in Australia on this map here. It might be cool if you could fly that fast. Yeah, so right here, I think there's a camera right here on the building, and there's one right over here. So he may have somehow disconnected this one. I just don't know how he got into the back. I don't know. It's possible that he went around here, climbed over a fence, and then this camera here picked him up. Then he goes through the back door, and apparently the back door was wide open. Now, what back door they're referring to, I don't know. It could be a door here or this one. That one goes into the garage, and then, you know, so maybe they're talking about a door underneath here. But that has to be the motion that the camera picked up outside, since he didn't enter through the front door. That has to be where the motion was in the back, and that indicates the time he entered the house. And therefore, he probably didn't even confront Nancy until like 2:14, and then he's exiting the house at 2:28. Now, something I was thinking about today, though, is, I mean, you could come up with a scenario if somehow he did go through the front, and then he's in there, and then he ties up, you know, makes sure Nancy can't move, and then he goes out and gets his car, and then he comes back, and I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. The whole back door open is just, that's where he entered and left it open. I don't think he went through the front door at all. It doesn't make sense. That's not why he did it. He knew he'd be leaving through the back door, or the front door, and that's why he made sure. I mean, I actually have a vehicle here. I don't know what his vehicle would look like in this program, not that one. Hold on. This is my Google Earth version that I have here. Or, not Google Earth, 3D Studio Max. You know. So I'm going to probably do some sort of an animation with this here. But I've got everything together now. Yeah, local. Jeez, sometimes it's just so hard, this rotation thing. It doesn't work. It's weird. Anyways, I'll just move it up to where I think. Yeah, somewhere right in here. Yeah, probably, you know, then from here it would be rotated. Oh, that was on gimbal. I have to have local. There we go. So, something like that, you know. I mean, just, it could probably a little even up here, a little bit more. What do you guys think? See? I mean, I think he pulled it in, drove it just like that. Maybe a little bit further this way. Something like that. And then just took her off through the archway, down the thing, put her in there and took off. All right? Hey, thanks, Tamsters. GH is always ahead of the game. I remember when they said the Idaho 4 couldn't have taken only 15 minutes. Gray nailed it down to 9, then 7. And GH was correct the whole time. Hey, well, thank you. Yeah, even when, you know what's funny in that case, even when we did 7 minutes, it seemed too long. And then it turns out law enforcement determined that it could be done in like 4 at the most and like 2.5 at the quickest. Yeah, so I have this little thing that I was able to obtain, the 3D Google Earth, and it's very accurate in terms of the hilliness and everything. That's exactly what it looks like. The trees aren't awesome or anything, but, you know, everything else is perfect. So I think this would be good, you know, use this as an animation. Like I would probably have him parked probably somewhere off the side. I mean, I might even just put him here for time's sake. But I don't know if you'd want your car on the road if, or visible for an officer to come by and go, hey, what's this car doing here? And write down a license plate. Because I think he waited for 20 minutes or so to see if anybody was going to show up. And this thing's perfect for all the other stuff that you see. You know, showing the angle, where the buildings are. Yeah, right over there. Those are the lights were right up there that you see in the back of the surveillance. And by the way, look what I made here. Isn't that cool? I actually took the image that they've released and put it into the full image, like that. I think that's pretty sweet. See? It's perfectly matched up. Notice how, like, even the bricks and everything. And then what it was hard too, I made this whole image without a person in it. And that was pretty cool too. I needed to do that so I could put him in it. His background's darker, and that's why there's a little bit of a line over here, but I thought it was pretty cool. Hey, thanks, Self-Esteem. So this is what it would have looked like on a full shot in that image. I don't know why they cropped it to show us. It seems kind of lame. What are you talking about? Hey, Frank, I know what I'm doing, man. God, I can't stand it. Yeah, so what I did was I took these two images, like this one. You can actually bring video into Adobe Photoshop, right? And I took, like, let's see, I took this image right there because that has the whole archway there. And then I took, I think it was, yeah, I think one of these. And then I deleted this portion and just kept the other portion. So it was just one full image. Right? So you don't, if you subtract out him, and then you start with that, you start with this image right here. And you're just missing part of the arch, but you have the full arch behind, basically empty. And then you put that over, you lay it over the top of another image where it's just like this even. And then you reverse that out of this one, and the other one you take that part out, and then boom, when you combine them together, it has both. It just is a full image. And for example, that is what we have in, let's see. I think I got it right here. Right there. So there's nothing in that one. And that doesn't exist as a photo, but that's what it looks like. See that? So I just wanted it to be, I wanted to show the same image that we're seeing exactly, and I'll show you, look how good it is. See, when I blink it on and off, notice how the walls don't move, the arches. So that means it's really dialed in. And that one even blends in better down on the tile, which is cool. See that? Boom. So that's really what it would look like right there. Yeah. So there you go. You can actually see the full. I mean, obviously it's the same shot and everything, but they didn't give it to us in the full form. So in this case, the guy probably walked up to the front door and just was kind of looking around. Hell, but then you would think like, wow, if he went there already, wasn't he aware already that it had a camera? But he didn't care because he's got the balaclava, he's got everything else. Entered elderly woman's home. Yeah, is this the first one that we did? Oh, yeah, this is something that Alley Cake sent me. Look at this, is pretty interesting. Look at this. A man was arrested over the weekend after police say he entered. This is from today. Arrested over the weekend. This is in Salt Lake City. After police say he entered an elderly woman's apartment random after allegedly watching her for months, kidnapping and assaulting her. Chadwell Clement Smith, 34, was booked into the Salt Lake City jail Saturday for investigation of kidnapping, burglary, possession of a weapon by a restricted person, and marijuana possession. Salt Lake police were called to an apartment in the area of 700 East and 700 South for an urgent welfare check after an unknown man entered a woman's residence early that morning and was still there in the afternoon. A police booking affidavit states. The woman says she woke up at about 2 a.m. to let her dog out and left the door cracked open while she was going to the bathroom. When she came back out, Smith was standing in her apartment, according to the affidavit. He was holding an axe and a knife and then gave the woman 2 hugs before asking her to sit down to talk. I mean, this is crazy, right? The man allegedly began rubbing the elderly woman's legs and feet. The woman told police she was scared and didn't want him touching her. The victim said that Smith told her that he'd been watching her plus loving her for the past 6 months, but never asked her out on a date. I mean, the guy's 34 years old. What the hell's going on here? I'm not sure this stuff's true. I don't know. It's hard to... I mean, that he literally... Smith later used the woman's shower. Let's see. The victim said that Smith told her that he'd been watching her plus loving her for the past 6 months and never asked her out on a date. Smith later used the woman's shower without her permission. During that time, the woman talked to a friend on the phone who called police. Responding officers found Smith lying on the woman's bed. He allegedly told police that when she saw the woman's door open, that this was his shot. He told me that his intention was to take her out on a date and to get an Uber up near the University of Utah underneath a tree, and was intending on kissing her there and feeling out the situation, and informed me that he would want to have sex with the victim prior to a supposed marriage. That just sounds like the craziest story I've ever... I mean, his version of how it went. Smith admitted that the actual place he intended to take her was near some sort of underground construction site near a mall, and told me that he lied about actually wanting to take her to the university. Police noted that Smith had shown patience in choosing the victim, and if the woman's friend hadn't called to check on her, I do believe that Smith would potentially have escalated the situation should we not have responded to the residents and prevented further criminal acts. I mean, how creepy, you guys. Absolutely creepy. But hey, guys, if you're out there, we're struggling again tonight, so if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Could use some channel memberships, etc. We're currently at $32, which is like 1/10 of what we try to bring in every single night at the minimum, so that at the end of the month we can, it supports the channel, and then we can also donate money. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Thank you. And that's equivalent to 6 channel memberships. We've had people donate 10. And 50 even. I just can't figure out how the zipper is open and waist like there's inches of zipper. What are you talking about, man? God, your brain is just... Wow. Let's see. Let's try the Fox News one. One of Nancy Guthrie's Nest doorbell camera images released by the FBI was taken on a different date than the others. A source with knowledge of the investigation confirmed to Fox News Digital Monday. The new details indicate the masked suspect scouted the home in advance of the 84-year-old Guthrie suspected abduction on February 1st. Hey, thanks, Allie K. I'm not gonna read your comment. This the breaks. You don't make sense, man. The new details indicate the masked suspect scouted the home in advance of the 84-year-old. The source declined to specify what day the earlier image was taken, citing active investigation. Pima County Sheriff was Nanos. Chris Nanos tells Fox News that the information did not come from him. Right. See, look at how do I interpret what you're saying here? Mr. Gray, have you noticed from the door cam that suspect is wearing a zip jacket by around the waist? The zipper is open about the size to stick hand in. Come on, man. Just write a little bit better, and maybe we can get something going. I have no way to decipher that stuff. I just can't figure out how the zipper is open at waist like 3 inches of zipper. It isn't. Okay? It isn't. So, good luck out there. You might find something. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. Authorities have alternatively asked for neighbors to check. I think this is similar to the other one. Let's see. Go to the next one. See, I think ABC is where it came from. Let's see what this one says. The masked man who is suspected of the abduction of Nancy Guthrie appears to have been at her front door earlier than February 1st, the night police believe she was kidnapped. Sources familiar with the investigation told ABC News. People are absolutely crazy, you guys. People are sending me images of the initial, like, here, look at it, it says January 31st, and it's 7 o'clock at night, and it's Nancy Guthrie is missing. How could that be because it's a typo. 7 o'clock on the 1st is the date, not the 31st. But Gray, I mean, just, you know what, just use your brain, think logically for 2 seconds. Obviously, it happened on, in the early morning hours of the 1st. That's when she was abducted. All the evidence points to that. Use your brain. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think it's a conspiracy, that it really happened before. How'd they know about it? It's like, that's the question people say is, how did they know about it on the 31st when it happened the day after? Man, this just doesn't add up. This is sus. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth Brown. Very kind, very kind. The masked man who is suspected of the abduction of Nancy Guthrie appears to have been at her front door earlier. The image the FBI released of the suspect at her front door without a backpack was captured by the Nest doorbell camera on a day before the suspect abduction, the sources said. The FBI said the images of the suspect with the backpack on are from the morning of her disappearance. I know I'm going to do it, but this... Alright, we're going to have to see if somebody can do a challenge of some sort so I can get some momentum going. Alright, let me put this in. Why are people making you guys, why are people making a big deal? I'm just randomly bringing this up. That Kash Patel he's a hockey player, and that he's over at the Olympics, and he's celebrating with the team because the coach is a friend of his and asked him, and he had an opportunity to go there. Who cares? It's just so, I hate this kind of stuff, man. He is absolutely, I thought it was awesome that they're all just so happy and excited, and I'm just getting so sick of this, the whole political bullshit. You know, it's never good when one side does something and the other side, it's always, you know, if they do it, it's great. If the other side does it, it sucks, and it's this national catastrophe, and it's just ridiculous. Anyways, I gotta put something out here. All right. I'm posting my image on Twitter, the one that I made. Great, where did we get this? What video? No, I made it. I mean, does anybody really care at all that he was there for that? And then the president called, and those players were like, "Oh my God," they were so happy. I'm so tired. Please do some sarcasm. It always shows up at some point, Elizabeth Brown. All right, it always shows up at some point. And then you see Gavin today. He said, "Hey, I'm just like you stupid people." He goes, "Yeah, I'm nothing great, man. I got 960 on my sats. I'm just dumb as a box of rocks. I can barely read. I'm just like you guys." And he's sitting in Atlanta talking to. Did you see that thing? My God. Yeah, I should just throw him in the dumps at that point. Yeah, it is. It's too divided. We need somebody. I always tell people to get in Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe, the guy that does dirtiest jobs. I think he'd be the absolutely perfect person to be president. A pragmatic thinker that everybody likes, and that's it. Just somebody different, And it sucks too, because like I like who's in office right now. I voted for Trump. I like a lot of the stuff he does. Some of the stuff he says and the way he talks, sometimes I don't like it. But it just sucks that the other side is so vitriolic and hateful that it's just, you never have a day of just peace and like, wow, that was great. That was freaking awesome. It's just, there's always a spin, how shitty something was, even if it was great. Okay. That's stupid if you vote for Jake Paul. Jesus Christ, you gotta be kidding me. Most of them on both sides sound dumb. Yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's like if you use a pragmatic thinker, they would probably be somebody that would be against, having transgender females competing in sports, and so that wouldn't work for the hardcore lefties, they would just get really angry about it, but it just sort of makes sense, women have worked so hard and you put them in the sports and then you take away their opportunities to achieve and give it to another guy who's psychologically challenged. Okay. Does that make sense to anybody? No, it doesn't, but it was cool and made you look really sensitive and just sort of morally superior if you believe something like that. Ridiculous. Anyways, that wasn't a debate. I'm not debating anything. I'm telling you. Let's see. They will never be happy. Yeah, it just gets really frustrating. Anyways, the gap, let me go up here. One theory, according to the sources, is that the suspect approached the door the first time. Yeah. Well, that's what my original theory was. I mean, I put this out there the day one when this video came out. One theory, according to the sources, is that the suspect approached the door the first time, noticed the camera, and was scared off. only to return later when he is seen tampering with the device and putting branches in front of the lens. Well, mine was that he was there earlier. So in this one, when it says earlier, was it a different day? I mean, the way that sounds is like that night. That's what my original theory was, that maybe at like 1:30 he walks over there and goes, oh, and then backs away. You know, I think he just looked to see if there was any lights on through that side pane of glass there. That's what I think. I don't think he was trying to, you know, it was like, oh my God, there's a camera. You know, I think he saw that and then he came back, because if he did see a camera, he sure as hell would have been more thoughtful and prepared, you would think, right? If he was that scared of it, would he just kind of casually stroll in there? I don't think he cared at all. I've told everybody this. See, that's what everybody's missing in the media. He didn't care at all that he was caught on camera. So this whole thing right here, one theory, according to the sources, is that the suspect approached the door the first time, noticed the camera, was scared off. Ooh, he was scared. Only returned later where he seemed to be tampering. No, he wasn't scared off, you guys. He didn't care that he was on camera. Would you care if you had on a balaclava and all this other stuff that you probably just purchased and nobody would even know who the hell you were at all? He didn't care at all. He went up to that door because he wanted to remove the camera. That's what he was removing the camera so that his car, when he pulled it up, wasn't spotted or identified. That's it. That's the only reason that he removed that camera. He didn't care if he was bringing Nancy out the front. I've already went through this, but there's other people watching. And but that's it. He only removed it because his car was going to be there, and the trail of blood indicates exactly where Nancy was, and that is right at the driveway. So just think about it. He goes in. He's already been.
Closing arguments wrapped up today in the trial of Scada's mother, accused of hosting drunk.
My God. He's right there. He gets rid of the camera, and then you see the blood trail go right to there, and then the car is parked right here, just like I have it in this version in 3D Studio Max. It's just parked right there. You come out, boom, put her in the vehicle, and then pull straight out and drive away. Probably came in this way, and they pulled cameras off of this house. There was some cameras like right up in here. I don't think there's another explanation. If you just examine the whole thing regarding the camera at the front door and the timing, how he's reacting, etc., the only explanation is that he knew he was going to be coming out the front door with whatever he was going to be coming out the front door with, but his car is going to be moved there after he waits to see if police show up. And after they don't show up, he pulls it right into that spot, right where I show you right here. He's parked right there, and he's only there for about 16 minutes. He wanted to minimize the amount of time he was parked in the driveway. And at that point, he brings her down and then puts her in the car and then takes off at about 2:28. So, 1:47, waits 20 minutes, 2:07, moves the car into there, walks around the back, picked up on camera at 2:12, goes inside the house, confronts Nancy, and has her out the front door where her pacemaker disconnects from her phone at 2:28. Is there even an argument against that? I mean, it's like, I make an argument that uses the same elements of facts that is the opposite of that. Because everything I'm telling you and discussing are all elements that are known facts. Hey, thank you, St. Jop. Is the driveway paved? I guess we can look. I think it's just kind of this gravelly stuff. This stuff right here is like cinder, volcanic, that red stone stuff or whatever. I don't know. That's what I thought of it as, but it looks like just thin gravel that goes around. See? So he parked right here. And in fact, I think some of the early images, let's go look at those again. I mean, isn't that interesting? Those wheels right there. I think there's another on this side. They literally like pull up and then back into right there. Like that is the edge and that's the edge. And boom, put her in there and they're out of there. Doesn't that look right? Like they pull up and then boom, you know, going backwards. And maybe that's the edge there and the edge there. It's hard to say, but it does look like there might be another tire on that side. Yeah, and then we've got the interesting... these are all ones I captured and put arrows on. So then you have these, but I don't know if those are necessarily associated with what happened that night. But this is, you can sort of picture where Tommaso would be dropping her off right here, garage door open, put her in, come back out. Maybe those are his tires just from being there. Maybe he has a bigger truck or something. And this gate right there is closed at the time, so you'd have to climb over that. Maybe that's what they did. But there's a camera right here, and then there's another camera right over there up on the upper right. I think it's crazy. On Google Earth, you can literally see the camera that they were messing with. Look at this. Right there. See that? And that dark spot is actually the solar panel. And then that little part that sticks out is the camera. I think that's the camera that was picked up motion in the yard. So it might mean that the suspect came in, you know, we all just kind of assume over here, but probably avoided this area because he could tell that there's a camera and so forth from maybe other trips. So after disconnecting that one, he maybe comes around the other side. I hadn't really, you know, spent a lot of time thinking about this element. But maybe then he comes over here and then he hops over the fence. And then if he did that, there's only one camera that could interact with him at that time. And that would be this one right here. So he jumps over, picks him up on camera. He doesn't even know that's there. He probably saw this one because of surveillance. You know, you'd have to be outside so you could see this camera. So he avoided that one. Then he snuck over here, didn't even know there was one there. And that picks him up at 2:12. And then he goes inside the home. Isn't that weird? I hadn't said that till just now, but I think that's exactly how this went down. Because it was kind of bugging me that there wouldn't be two cameras that picked him up. You think this one, and this would just keep picking him up, any motion at all. But this one here is only going to be activated if there's somebody moving in this yard over here. You know? So there you go. All right, guys, we're going to have to do another push in here. Is there any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? We're getting near the end of the month. We're on the 23rd. And make sure to show up on our donation night. That's where we give away thousands of dollars. We've already given away $2,000 so far this month. Trying to get to a big number. So if you guys can help support the channel, I would appreciate it. Gifting channel memberships is good, but we're currently only at 1/5 of just sort of a minimum goal, and we're already an hour into the show, which makes it a difficult task. So if you have the ability to, I'd appreciate it. Well, you have a sister that's worth millions, guy, I guess, you know. Hey, thanks, Betty Black. Always walk your mom to the door. Yeah. I mean, he said he did. He said he opened the garage door, walked her to the door inside the home, and then walked back outside, and then shut the garage door. Now, if he's involved somehow, he may have also left this door unlocked right here as he's leaving. I mean, you could, if you want to be a skeptic, when he drops her off, he walks her into the garage door after it opens. You know, maybe there's a door about right there. She goes into the main part of the home, and he shuts the door and says, "Okay, we'll see you later." Immediately walks over here, unlocks this door, then goes out here, shuts the garage door as he's leaving, gets in his car and leaves. But you know what, you guys? The more I just look at this guy and the way he's moving around, it just kind of feels like, I mean, I don't know, like he's just this weirdo, you know? What do you guys think? Haven't you changed the strength of your feeling one way or another on this one? Because this guy just looks like a psycho, you know? Maybe he is doing something for somebody. Hey, thanks, Chuggle Flop. Does this all feel like a lawn guy to you, Gray? No, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think it's somebody that was aware and been there before. I mean, you know what? I can't say it's not a lawn guy, Chris Stew. I can't say that. Yeah, the whole why. That's where the problem is, you guys. I think I have it down on like how it went down. I mean, I think that part I've got, you know, the why. If you knew the why, then you could really narrow it down. You know, you ask the question, what's the one element that always creates the problem when the why is being asked? And you know what it is? Let's see if somebody types in. What is the very first thing that causes a problem in the why? I want to see if the first thought that somebody has matches. And if not, I'll just start saying it. Ah, Jesus. I didn't ask for a question. I'm asking for, what is it? Yeah, right. There you go. So Shelky, the first person who replied, said exactly where the problem is. That she was taken from the home. Right? That's where the problem is. It's like, what theory do you use or say to answer that question? Like, why did he take her? And was he going there to take her out of the house, or was he going there to take anything out of the house, and then something went wrong when she was there, and he ended up taking her? Did he go in there to assault her and then had to take her because he didn't want to leave his DNA there? Did he go in there to take her because he was paid to eliminate her and ended up taking her out and then did something with her later? Did he intend to do a kidnapping for ransom, but she died and now he can't get the funds? Or, you know, it's just like there's 15 different things that you can come up with. It's ridiculous. Hey, thank you very much, Susan Smith. Not the Susan Smith, all right? Have a loud alarm and your Fifth Amendment very close at all times. I thought it was Second Amendment. Let's see. Right, okay, there you go. Okay, you did. Okay, you got it. Okay, good. I was like, wait a minute, I thought it was Second Amendment. But Susan Smith typed it in down there, too. I said it before you typed it, but on your end, you typed it before I said it. So you guys are like 15 or 20 seconds behind me. So do you guys feel comfortable, though, with the theory? You know, just on like how it went down that night. I don't know what happened in the house. None of us do. I was the first YouTuber or anybody on social media of any kind to say that there's expirated blood spatter on the tile. I don't know why people weren't saying it. You have all these experts out there that would have just looked at it. It should have been like the first thing that popped into their head, but it didn't work. So Elizabeth Brown thinks that Tommaso is linked somehow. You know, I mean, they were interested in him. Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me a bit. Yeah, the backpack is actually open, too. I've never really used Photoshop for this, but it's pretty cool that you can do that. Yeah, and see, it's unzipped too. This other guy's talking about his zippers unzipped. It isn't. I don't see any unzipped. That's not unzipped. This right here is a holster that goes down there. I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about. Hey, thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. You know what? The reason there's light and shadow in here, inside here, is because he's got the damn his light on. You know, his mouth light. Look at. That's what this light right there is. Inside here. See? He's looking down on the ground for a weed or something. And you can see the light on. The shadow is not from the moon or anything in here. Now that part there, it's hard to say even, well, that one might be the moon. But even there, see how you can see the light from his mouth? You can see the reflection of it coming up. I think I found the, and by the way, I think that holster isn't light colored like that. I think it's just sort of an item that's covered with sort of a shiny look, so it made it look brighter, perhaps. Yeah, that's the one thing about night vision. You can't tell what color anything is most of the time. What people are wearing. Yeah, we don't know, Random Bogey. We don't know. Let's see. Consider supporting my channel by buying me a coffee. Yes, you guys. Let's see if we can do that. Yeah. Yeah, you say right side pockets unzipped. Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. What, and let me ask you something. What if his right side pocket was unzipped? What does it mean to you? What significant, like, sort of sleuthing moment does that provide? Hey, thanks, Betty Black. I just think he has something in his pocket. I don't see anything unzipped. Nor would it matter. I just think he has a pocket there and he's got a pocket on the other side. Do you think it looks like he has something square under his jacket? Doesn't look like vest, but I don't know. Let's see. Nah, I don't know. I've never really seen anything that looked like it was something square underneath there. The line there is just part of the fleece. Yeah, I'm just not interested in the jacket pockets or anything. Doesn't matter, you know. I mean, let me ask you something. Well, how will we figure out the case more if we notice that the zipper of his jacket's open? See, I think it's just better to notice things that are like, if you want to try to identify something, like right there, this little part that comes down, I think, is a zipper for the, like, there's like an edge to his the holster there, I think. I don't know. Let me look. I was looking at something. It seemed like it might have been like one like this. See? Something just like that. That shape. See how it has that similar shape there? I don't know though. But see how this has a little bit of a shine to it, so that in the dark it might look like that. Now this thing has a different, goes to the side, so then there's like this one, They also sell, look how perfect that is. I mean, that one's crazy right there. Look at that. I think that one actually might be the one. The Strategy large frame revolver, 4" to 6, you know. Look at that. I mean, it's weird, right? I mean, it goes up just like that, and it even has the buckle on the left side going in like that. I don't know, you know, I can't tell you that's 100% it, but see that? Look at that. And then I think that I'm not certain, but I think there might be a zipper that goes around over here. No, it's not part of the. It's not a silencer sticking out. That's one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, like he jammed the silencer through the end. It's not. It's not. Okay, just know for certain that's not a silencer. Without having to think extra about it. I mean, look at the shape of it right there. Doesn't that look more like a zipper there? If it was a silencer, it'd be a hell of a lot thicker than that, right? So now that I've shown you this picture right here, you should be able to, in your own mind, 100% agree that this is there. That little part right there is not a silencer because of how skinny that thing is. All right. If you can't do that, then that means you don't have the ability to critically think. That means you're just tunnel vision because you've already thought it was a silencer, and therefore you can't change my mind mentality. All right, there you go. That's not very nice, Grant. Right. See, right there. Oh my God, it's a silencer. Oh, look at it. It's a silencer. Look, everybody. Look, 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 look. Silencer, 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 silencer. Can you see it? It's huge. It's right there. Silencer. Oh, wait a minute. What happened to it? Wow. It got really small all of a sudden, that silencer. What happened? It's really strange how it got really thin really quickly there. That metal just got really thin. Very strange silencer there. It's actually a silencer that's made up of sort of an elastic material that kind of flops in the wind, much like a rubber glove finger might. Yeah, maybe he was nervous, right? Yeah, and the silencer lost its strength, as it were. Yeah. All right, you guys are gonna have to see if we can get like anybody out there do a challenge of some sort at all. Like say, hey, we will donate this number of this for if everybody does this, okay? Because we are at a point now where only at about 1/3 or 40% of just the minimum goal. So we did have a nice little run there, but didn't make it. Yeah, he looks pretty casual, doesn't he? The guy, when he's walking around, just... See, just... Man. Let me see. Right now, he's touching the bottom of it. You know, he's literally grabbing the bottom of the camera. Man, then he's looking around. Oh, is there weed over there? I don't know. Let me look over here. Yeah, so there has to be an alternative light source, which could be the moon, could be something else though. When he's walking there, because it showed his head as part of the shadow, and that wouldn't show if if the light was coming from the bite camera, because that's in front of his face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it's hard to have a theory of the why in this case because there's really nothing to point you in a particular direction. because there's about 6 theories you could have with him removing her from the home. So if you just keep in mind that he knew he was going to be going out the front door, and he was going to be parking his car right there intentionally, and in fact that's why he removed the camera, then you can sort of think, okay, was she the thing that he intended to take out? Or did something, what did he have in that backpack, for God's sakes? I mean, duct tape isn't that big. What was he going to do with whatever's in the bag? Some people think he had other bags in there to put loot in and take them out and put them in the car in the front. But then this person is confronted. I mean, it could be something like he's somebody. This is what we thought originally. How about this right here? How about this? This person was casing the house and was going to steal stuff, moved up into the front there. Maybe he thought there wasn't going to be anybody home. Who the hell knows? He goes inside. He gets confronted by somebody. And then he turns out, though, to be somebody who she knows. Like, she actually knows who this person is. And perhaps while he was inside, somehow she was able to identify him. And so he kind of lost his perspective now of like what he was going to do. And so now he's got to go into cover-up mode. So he has to get her out of there. And he knows that because he's by himself, he needs her to be able to walk out. So he doesn't kill her or anything inside the home. But I guess why would you need to take her out if she, that's the whole thing is like, if she recognized you, why wouldn't you just kill her there and leave? What difference would it make? She's not there saying anything. You're not on camera, with your face or anything. You get it? Like, it's just everywhere you go in this case, you get turned around by another piece of information. Well, I don't know if I believe she's still alive now. I just know she was alive when she left the home. Okay? So let's throw that part in there. So we have these gaps. What are things that we do know? So we know that he absolutely intended to go out the front door and remove that camera because it was going to film his car. So he was intending to put stuff into the car. And then we move forward, and we know that Nancy is alive, and she is forced out of the house and likely, obviously, moved to that very same vehicle that isn't on camera. So those are things that seem to be incredibly likely. So what's missing in between? Hey, thank you very much, Bella X Strange. Yeah, thank you. Bella X Strange. I haven't seen that one before. A lot, these @ symbol names, though. There's a lot of people that I used to recognize, but I don't recognize them much because they changed everybody's names. Hey, thank you. Hey, thanks again, Betty Black. I used to say Melanie Summer. That's a little different. Hey, thanks for the coffee there, Lisa. So the difference is once he goes inside the house, intending to be bringing stuff out the front door or something out the front door into the car that he's got waiting, was she the thing? Okay, what do you guys think about that? Do you think? Let me do a poll on this. All right, here we go. There's your poll question. Okay, and that means like originally. I'd like to see this part. I mean, that's sort of an interesting way to look at it. All right, so the Pima County Sheriff has put out a post. We'll take a look at this in a minute. Okay, we got 77% of the people say yes so far. So that's interesting, right? So if that's the case, then we need to know the why on that part. Okay? So let's say we do the whole thing. We got it nailed down. At 147, he removes the camera, knowing that he's going to be pulling a car into the driveway. After disabling the camera, however, he walks down the street a ways and waits to see if law enforcement or a notification had gone out that might send law enforcement there. And about 20 minutes later, nothing's there, so he pulls his car up into the front there. Then he goes around the back of the house, maybe to the left, climbs over a fence, and then is detected by a motion sensor at 212 on a camera he was not aware of. Then he enters into the home and does whatever he does in there intentionally to remove Nancy from the home. And then we see the blood trail. Apparently, we've just learned recently that there's the same type of blood drops, you know, maybe not the expirated blood, but, you know, blood droplets heading out to the front door. She coughs, and then she's put into the car. Okay, so that's where we're at this point. And he was in the house for 12 to 14 minutes or so. That's actually quite a long time. All right, so let's do this really quick, this one. We are aware that doorbell images released earlier in the investigation depict a suspect in different stages of attire. Well, kind of. Including with and without a backpack. There is no... The fleece and the balaclava are exactly the same. And maybe even the pants. But maybe not those shoes, though, you know? Those shoes, those pesky shoes. The ones that are so blurry that you can't tell, but maybe they're not the same. There's no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. Okay. There you go. So my original theory is that it was earlier, just 10 minutes prior, or just earlier in the evening, you know. But if you can show that those are different shoes, then, you know, you know, you might think it was a different night. Because why would you change your shoes, I guess? There's no date or timestamp associated with these images. You know what? I think the sheriff is just putting this out there to give comfort to the suspect. Actually, that's stupid. Yeah, you're right. You didn't put the timestamps on them. There's no way there isn't one associated with it. Google knows when the hell these images were put out there. There's a date on the file that would, you know, would have been embedded in it. There's no way they don't have the time of that. So I think he's just giving comfort so that, you know, you don't want to give too much information. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on a different day is purely speculative. This remains an active and ongoing criminal investigation. As with any investigation, conclusions will be guided by verifiable evidence and established facts. Speculation without factual support does not advance... Yeah, well, I agree. You know what? Like, I agree with this whole statement here. Right? Speculation without factual support. So that's what we're doing here, is we're speculating with the factual support that we were given in the timeline information and other elements that have been released. Thanks, Random Bogey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet it's bright, I would guess. But hey, guys, how do we get the ball rolling here? We're struggling. He doesn't have anything under his jacket. Let's see. Why do you guys, when I say I don't see something, you want to send something, and you want to send me one still frame that shows something, but there's no other still frames that show anything? I don't see it. I don't see it the way you guys do. He isn't carrying a walkie-talkie in his left hand. He's not carrying a walkie-talkie in the second photo. All right? Thank you very much. They said she didn't have a subscription. Yeah, well, no, she just didn't pay her subscription. So even though it recorded and uploaded to the cloud, it immediately puts it in a write-over mode where another, and it's not visible. You can't see it because it's not formatted for somebody to view it. But they can reverse engineer and turn it into video, but it's immediately available as if you had deleted it to be written over. That's how it works. Yeah, like let's say you had, well, I mean, I can probably try to draw something if, I don't know. It's kind of hard to do, but if you just took like 100 squares, and let's say the video took up the first 10 squares, and but immediately after the video was recorded, it deletes it basically, so it's not visible because you didn't pay your subscription. So it's already able to be written over again. And then just by chance, your next video takes up spot number 30 through 50. Okay, well, that still leaves the original video sitting there. It hasn't been written over yet. And then let's say your next one you do, and it's like, oh, wow, that one did 70 to 94. But still, none of those videos you can watch because they're all deleted. But then the next one you record, it goes over and records over spot number, like 4 to 8 or something, and then it kind of wipes out that portions of the first video, probably the whole video itself. What does that mean? All right, who's going to do a challenge in here, you guys? We need to get moving. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth Capone Cook. Very generous of you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thanks for all the people out there that do support the channel. If you're new watching here, and you aren't aware, this is the deal here. Since January of 2020, my channel, out of the income from the channel, has donated $285,112. And, last year we did 46,000, 49 the year before that, 57, 62, 42, then 22. And we're already at 5,000 this year so far. So we actually try to make a big difference out there and we donate to true crime related charities like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, RAIN, which is Violence Against Women, Texas EquiSearch. We've given all of 3 of those over $30,000 apiece. And then we also have a DNA fund for identifying Jane and John Does. We also have a scholarship fund for students in the criminal justice world. And anybody can apply. And even if you're a freak, you can apply. You just can't tell anybody that you applied because you're not going to be treated differently than just these random people out there. But we've given $6,000 out 3 times now, so $18,000 in scholarships, and we've already got $4,500 out of the $6,000 for the next batch. So we're just moving forward here, and that's what part of the support when you give it to the channel does. And when we don't have the support, we don't get to do those things. So I don't know what to tell you. I try to make videos that have ad revenue, but my videos, because they're not sensationalistic with the clickbaity bullcrap titles, I don't get the same number of views. So if you guys have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. We're just struggling tonight again. Yeah, I think they did that because they were told that she wasn't alive anymore, Betty. We've gone over that a million times on here. Yeah. I literally have said, I know exactly what she was saying in that video. Savannah Guthrie was saying that, no, I wasn't laughing at people that said that 84 sheepdog. We're going to have to get rid of you, man. Good luck, buddy. You're a liar. Have a good one. All right. I never said that at all. Never said it at all. I said, forget it, man. I said, I think it was in one of the letters. She says, we understand. Basically, this is what she's saying. We understand that our mother is not alive anymore. And basically after that, she's saying, and we're willing to pay for you to let us know where we can find her body so that we can celebrate with her body here and so that we can also have peace. And that's valuable to us, and we're willing to pay for that. That's what she was saying in that. And I don't know if things changed after that, but I am 100% certain that's what she was saying in that clip. Hey, thanks so much, Charlotte Denny. Groceries will be here in 5 minutes. I will set up my challenge. What do you mean? What are you going to do, Tamsters? Can anybody dispute what I just said? If you go listen to that again, that's exactly what she's saying. I think it is in reply. I think it was, they got on one of those letters they got, because they didn't it could be too that because they weren't given proof of life, they just said, hey, we understand. Okay. And they did respond without proof of life. Remember that? Thank you, Saint Chop 357. All right, Tamsters, let's see. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? So I guess, let's say, look at the top up there. Most people think that Nancy was the thing, when I say thing, I'm not trying to like, oh, Nancy's a thing. I'm saying we don't know what it was. So, maybe object might have been better. Was Nancy the object the suspect intended to take to her car parked in the driveway? Is that why is that why he went into the house? Because he'd already parked his car before going into the home, so that should be part of your calculation. And if that's the case, then why was he removing her from the home? Hey, look what Tamster said. She'll match 5 gifted membership. Like if 5 of you just gift 1 channel membership, Tamsters will gift 5 all by herself. So you get a 2-for-1er here, right? And those are the kinds of things that help support the channel. I know a lot of people watching don't give a shit about stuff like that. We just actually try to make a big difference on all aspects. I cover true crime the right way by only using facts, logic, reason, and common sense, and speculate reasonably based on the facts available and in a narrow range based on those. And then we also make a huge difference on the outside of the actual channel in the true crime world. Okay, so that's what we do. So a lot of people are like, yeah, just do the show. But we've had a lot of long-time freaks here that, they like all the other stuff that we do too. So thank you. Hey, we got Bella X Strange, Shelky, and Wild Bill Wassman. Just need 2 more of those. So, I guess maybe we should do some more polling here in a second. But let's try to get to that challenge first, and then we'll do some more polls. Maybe we can come up with what are the reasons why. Hey, look at that. It's Chris O'Connell. One of the mega generous freaks out there. Thank you. Well, there you go. Look at that. Boom. You did it, Tamsters. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, thanks, Betty Black. So, hey, Betty, we're probably on the same page there then, right? I think that's exactly what that message meant. Every time I listened to it, it even made more sense. Hey, thank you, Tamsters. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right, so now we got to say, what are the reasons why? Let's keep a list over here, and then we'll try to. All right, so list reasons why. Okay, so we've got what are the reasons why, if we believe that Nancy was removed, that was the goal of this person, was to remove Nancy from the home, which is 76% thought that. We're just going to go with that. All right. Hey, thanks so much there, Chug-a-Flop and Kathy Robinson. Very cool. Thank you. And how's it going over there? Quee between. Alley Cake Zero, Gidgey, Chris O'Connell, Wild Bill Wassman. Look at Marty Bar and Grill. Look at that. Chris O'Connell, Wild Bill Wassman, and Marty's Bar and Grill. Basically all typed in a row. And then Lisa Valenzuela, K-Me, Tamsters, Genovese, Hey3, Alley Cake, Marty Kai, Martikai, and then Chug-a-Flop. There you go. All right, so get a reason. What is the reason number one? What would be a reason why she was removed from the home by this person? Okay, let's do one. Who's got the first one? Yeah, you can always go out and donate somewhere yourself. You just go out and donate to them. What I do on my channels, if people are supporting the channel, I just donate a large portion. It also helps support me in what I do. Okay? But yeah, you can always go out and, you know, go look it up. Go look up Micmac, go look up Rain, go look up Texas EquiSearch and donate to them if you feel like it. Marty? Yeah. Good luck. Let's see. Okay, but let's just focus on one at a time. All right, so it's an abduction for ransom. And then what's another one? Okay, a fantasy, like probably a sexual fantasy thing. Well, you know, either if they're who cares if the ransom notes are legit or not. FBI seem to think they were, but you have better knowledge than they do, so let's see, we got vengeance. Okay, but so like a killing for vengeance, right? But I think she was left alive so she could get out of he could get her out of the home in that scenario. And then what's another one? So revenge, and then yeah, you could do sexual assault in home, and then which is equal to like DNA removal. That's you have to remove her entire body. Except that was only about a 16-minute window there. Mm-hmm. Hey, Marty, thanks so much for the coffees. Thank you. I just heard my phone bing. They thought he was another guy who lived in the same street. Well, it's a she, so are you even following the right case? That doesn't make any sense. We're not talking about the old guy, yeah, and the 85-year-old in Australia. We're talking about Nancy Guthrie. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. Savannah's husband thought he had to testify in court. Huh? I don't know what that means. What's that got to do with her being removed? So is that it then? Abduction for ransom, and then that would then that went wrong, right? You know, goes wrong. Sexual fantasy, meaning like removed and maybe still alive type of thing. And then killing for vengeance, and that's to affect Savannah. And then sexual assault in home, and the DNA had to be removed by removing her. Well, I guess that would be well, what would be the revenge in that one, Songbird? Like, what happened? Yeah, that would be the killing for vengeance to affect Savannah. I would think the same as a stalker obsessed with, you know. That's kind of the deal there, I think. I can put that in there. I think it's the same thing, though. I'm just looking at these right here. Yeah, I mean, this could just be like a Koberger type, you know? Just a killer. Well, maybe that fantasy one. Well, maybe that's what they meant when you said fantasy earlier. I don't know. Man, let's see. Just a killer. Killing. Just a, you know. A one-off serial killer-like person. That's how I like to refer to those types. You know, the ones like Richard Allen, Koberger, just they kill somebody. They're serial killer-like, even though they don't have the number of kills that you need. But don't you guys consider, like, you know, let's say there's a girl, well, for example, forgot her name, but remember the lady that was on the hiking trail and she was killed by the illegal alien in a tunnel, and she had kids and she had blonde, you know, I forgot her name. It's not the nursing student, but the other one. The guy who killed her is a serial killer. That's exactly what that's what they do. Yeah, Rachel Morin, right. Yeah, he goes over there, he grabs her, and he kills her and stabs her to death, or beats her with a rock, or whatever the hell he did, and put her inside of a tunnel. That's what a serial killer does. There's no anything other than they're satisfying some sort of urge. Yeah, we already said Rachel Moran up there. Right? And I think he kind of was, because he had other killings, and then he had one where he goes into in a house in California. It was crazy. I mean, you see him right there on camera. It was just unbelievable. And the people that do those types of things, you know, follow a woman walking down the street, attack her, and dump their body somewhere. That is what a serial killer does. Now, maybe they didn't do another one later, but you can say they're serial killer-like because that's exactly what they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've already said that, Jack. I mean, can you read the comments right above you? There's like 9 people that already typed that in. Good job, though. Let's see. Hey, there's that sarcasm you wanted. All right, so maybe we should do a poll on here. I'm going to see if I can get all these in here. Why was she removed? Okay, sexual fantasy. You know, elsewhere, something like that. Killing for vengeance. Stalker obsessed with... Yeah, I don't know. We'll put that in there. That sort of seems similar. Sexual assault. I think I'm gonna trade that one out for the. I think it seems like the killing for vengeance and stalker obsessed with family are sort of the same. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take the winner of this set and then compare it to that last one that I've got. But hey guys, if you're out there, you can help support the channel. We got to keep on moving here. If we get another 20 or so channel memberships, I might be able to donate 5 myself. So maybe we can do like a big matching with all the freaks. Let's see if we can do it. All right. Yeah, we need about another 20 memberships, though, and then I'll donate my 5, and we'll see what happens. TV under another username and commenting from my phone. We sometimes like sarcastic gray. Yeah, what's wrong with being sarcastic? All right, so it looks like abduction for ransom goes wrong. That does sort of seem like the most logical, you know. Hey, thanks, Sandy Will, 63. All right, so I'm going to already stop this one because I think abduction for ransom goes wrong is going to win just based on the numbers. All right, so I'm ending that one. And then I'm going to do another one because it didn't have enough space. Why was Nancy removed from home? No takers, you guys? I mean, it's just got to be, we need a few more challenges to get to where I can donate 5. So let's see if we can do it. All right, here we go. I'm doing just 2 here. And let's do this poll right here. All right, so I just explained, is it just one of these types? So I would assume that abduction for ransom would still win here. Yeah, that would be a serial killer-like person, wouldn't it, Chris O'Connell? Just, I mean, if you're out there looking for headlines and, you know, the activity and stuff, that's very similar to like a, you know, one of the people that, you know, pyromaniacs, you know. How do you know what he looks like? GoPro. Hey, the guy in the mask doesn't look like someone who wants to essay grandmas. Well, you wouldn't think so, would you? But we just read a story from earlier today that you must have missed. How about this one right here, buddy? You must have missed this one. A man was arrested over the weekend after police say he entered an elderly woman's apartment at random. This is in Utah. After this last weekend, after allegedly watching her for months. Chadwell Clement Smith, 34, was booked into the Salt Lake City jail Saturday for investigation of kidnapping, burglary, possession of a weapon by a restricted person, and marijuana possession. Yeah, and it went on and on and on. It was a really creepy story. You must have missed it, though. All right, guys. I tried doing another. We need to try to get the a couple more challenges going in here. We've only had one challenge tonight, so if we get one, probably need 2 more, and then I'll be able to, or if we just get to 20 channel memberships, I guess 19 now, because we can count that up there, then I can donate 5 and, you know, be on the right track. How would anybody know what somebody looked like? You know, it's just such a naive comment to say. The guy in that video doesn't look like somebody who... What do you mean? Who looks like somebody that does that? I mean, I don't look at anybody and go, boy, that person looks like they want to go assault an 84-year-old. Okay? Nobody looks at that. These people are crazy. Nuts. All right? Man, it's always so demoralizing when nobody responds when I do the, hey, you guys, if we could help, you know, we got to get another push here. And it just goes. But then Charlotte Denny came in and responded. Well, that was very kind there. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Charlotte Denny. That was very kind. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right. Yeah, I guess we just need 9 more. Very cool, Charlotte. Very kind of you. I know people are in grandma types, and there's Roger Smith. Getting rid of a body is a task of its. That's why he didn't have to do that with the. He had her walk to the car. I mean, I don't think anybody here doesn't think she was alive when she exited that. Like, there's nobody that believes she was dead when she was removed from the home. And you know why they don't think that? Because I saw the expirated blood, and you know, then the media started picking up on it way later, but they still forget about it almost daily. You guys ever notice that? How many times do you guys watch the news and then you get frustrated when they don't use the same logic stream that we have over here, where it's just boom, 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 and then you hear them talking and it's like they just didn't have it. You know, they're like still wondering about something. Tell me you guys haven't seen that. Yeah, we know she was coughing. I'm the one that figured it out, Songbird. Thank you. Yeah, but haven't you seen that when you're watching those shows and they're talking and you just want to yell and say, no, that's not true. Yeah, no, that's not how he did it. No, that's not what they did. It's already known that isn't what... Yeah. Right, no, it's crazy. It's frustrating as hell. And they get the same, experts on with quotes around it every single night, and it's the same stuff. But there's stuff that it really is known. It's not speculating, and there's stuff that is speculating, but is so likely to be true because just of the elements, like, here's the thing. I am speculating when I tell you that he removed the camera from the front door because he knew he was going to be parking his car in the driveway, and my logic behind it is he didn't care that he was being filmed when he went to the door. So he's not worried about himself. I don't think he'd be worried if he was removing Nancy from the home. What he's worried about is that when he parks his car in the position to be able to move her into it, he didn't want it on camera. So he removed that camera. So while that's speculating, I think it's like 99.9% likely that that is the case. I can't even think of another reason. You get it? Whoa, holy crap, you guys. You see Marty's Bar and Grill? He said he'll donate $50 worth of coffee if 10 of you do one channel gift the channel membership. So you just have to do 10 of you do one, and then he'll do that. And then after that, I'll donate 5 too. So that means we'll have I'll donate 5 channel memberships. He'll do that, and then if you guys do that, I think it'd be 2.5 to 1 on your part. So I'll donate 5 also. It may have been that she passed away during... She wasn't, though, Vicky. We've already gone over that a lot, She was still alive when she went out the door. Or you're saying, like, a little bit further down the path, she died. No, we can't, Roger, darn it. It's all new. I guess we could. I mean, those... How about... I mean, we could count Roger Smith and South Texas guy, right? Because those came in after Charlotte Denny. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Marty? Can we count those 2 that came in just above there? The straggler ones? That'd be 2 of the 10. Got to get my payment. Get on laptop when I get home tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, sometimes she has good stuff, Bees. Yeah. I always think there's a reason. Yeah. Well, that would be the Ransom gone wrong, right? All right. So one-off serial killer-like person. Yeah, that one didn't do well. I think it would be a good theory is a one-off abduction for Ransom serial killer, like, that type of person that's just like, ooh, it's more just for fun. It has nothing to do with anything. Hey, cool, look at that. There's 5 of them. So we either need 5 more or 3 more. Whichever comes first, I guess. Thank you. Very cool, very cool. Right, exactly. Something like that. An abduction for Ransom. It could be like an abduction for killing, but was going to play around with the abduction thing to get the biggest bang. That's why he sent something TMZ if you believe that that is them. How about something like that, where they're just a psycho nutter that wanted to make it look like she was abducted, knowing, and then kept her alive to help him remove her. And then he was just going to toy with the media like a serial. I mean, like, this is like a killer that used her abduction as part of his sort of playing with the media angle. Isn't that weird? Wouldn't that be crazy if that's what it was? Wow. Man, that one actually sort of makes sense, right? That he is somebody who tried to make it look like an abduction, kept her alive to get her to the car, knowing he wasn't going to keep her alive, and really doesn't even care about a ransom at all. He just wants to see the commotion that it caused. It's kind of weird. Man, wouldn't that be crazy if that is it? And that makes it kind of logical all the way through, you know? Look at that, it's Chris O'Connell. Don't you love the way I say that? I mean, that is... Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Here we go, here we go, here we go. And... there we go, look at that. Yeah, isn't that crazy? What do you think of that theory right there, you guys? That kind of makes sense of a lot, like where we were going with it. You know, the abduction for ransom goes wrong. It makes that make sense, right? Isn't that weird? Kind of makes, like, is it still the same sort of thing? It's not, but in my scenario, it was made to look like an abduction, and it didn't go wrong. He literally, that's exactly what he was going to do. He just needed her alive when he left to get her to the car, and then all the rest is just play in the media. Isn't that weird? So that one won, but it fits that one. So you could combine abduction, you know, for ransom. I mean, it's not even. It's just sort of abduction for, you know, fantasy. You know, I mean, I'm not even sure how to word it, but. And then the other one would, and then it's, yeah, and then a one-off serial killer-like person. So you could combine abduction for ransom by a one-off serial killer-like person who never intended to get a ransom, and he just wanted to toy with the media. That's what he got off on. Wouldn't that be wild? It's just a theory, you guys. This is the stuff right here. We're just totally theorizing on the why, right? There's no way to know this stuff, really. But I think we've kind of determined in our own just sort of the common sense way that the person did intend to remove her because he removed the camera. I mean, it's likely he intended to remove her because he removed the front door camera as to not show his vehicle after he moves it into that position after removing the camera, because he intends to bring Nancy out to the vehicle. Now, because that is something that we believe at a 76% rate, then what's the next logical step, you might say, is what type of person would need to remove her from the home? Well, if it was a ransom goes wrong, what a absolute crappy blunder that is. To, like, your whole goal is to get some money out of it. It goes wrong and you get nothing. And then they don't even try to get money by saying, hey, here's her body. So for me, I think that it's very possible that the first two ransom letters that were put out were from a person, or this person, who actually knows exactly what happened. They didn't even try to get money, really. I mean, I guess if somebody had sent the money to that crypto account, they would have got it, but that could have just been a Hail Mary. But you ask yourself, why did you send it to TMZ if you believe in these things, right? So that means he wanted it to be really flashy and big, and she was never going to be alive anyways, but he wanted to make it look like it was a ransom just to get the biggest bang for his buck and gets a lot of publicity, etc. And that's why he chose her, knowing that she's the daughter of somebody really famous, and that alone would have brought a lot of publicity to it. See, isn't that just kind of makes sense? I mean, obviously it's just a theory, but there's nothing about it you go, I don't know. Yeah, that's just, It actually sort of sounds good, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It could just be a lawnmower guy that went in and just, Yeah, thanks up there, Chris O'Connell. Thank you very much. Yeah, it does kind of fit some of that stuff, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know, Tim. I don't agree with that. I know Vicky does, but I don't at all. I think it's just there's too many errors made. And that a person that was doing a straight up ransom kidnapping for ransom would have tried to get money by just saying where her body was. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you say, yeah, well, send the same crypto to this account and here's where her body can be located. Thank you. That's why I don't agree with you. Right? I got some weird typing going on with big red letters. I got to get rid of those. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, she obviously is in poor shape. Yeah, I mean, that's the one, everybody, the abduction for ransom goes wrong, right? I'm just saying some of his behavior and some of the elements, if you believe the ransom are true, why would you send it to TMZ? Wouldn't you just try to quietly get the money on the side somewhere? Instead, you're going through TMZ where it's just, woo, yay, and they're just full of crap, and I don't know. But I could see that. It wouldn't shock me at all. That's the one that, the main one that we all say is the abduction for ransom goes wrong, right? That was 77%. Now, I'm just throwing a little twist in there, saying that maybe that's what they wanted it to look like, and that would sort of explain the TMZ stuff and how they didn't really even try to get money. You get it? So that's where I'm going with that. What do you think about that, Roger Smith? Sorry about removing that one. I saw these big red, right in the middle. I wasn't sure how those got in there, so I had to remove it. Yeah, Roger agrees with Tim. Right. Well, that's what we're saying here, Chicken Wing. It's a theory, a serial killer-like person who wanted it to look like it was an abduction, and then just toyed with the media and just enjoyed all that. And we haven't really heard much from him since. Probably got done with that one. Maybe move on to the next one. Yeah. No. Well, I'm skeptical of all the ones other than those. I'm not as skeptical of the ransom notes that the FBI believes came from the person. There's a reason they believe that. They looked at the timing of different comments and realized that they shouldn't have known this. All right? I think if there was anything in those that was after it was reported, it probably wouldn't be as strong. Has other seniors going missing in the area? Right, exactly, Chris O'Connell. See, I agree. That's what I think. See, but again, isn't this weird, you guys? See, there's always something in this case. You know, like the ransom goes wrong would make a ton of sense if TMZ didn't get anything. Don't you agree? Like, I don't even know if I would. Like, I mean, here's the thing, though. If those ransom notes aren't from anybody, then we're back at the abduction for ransom goes wrong and they never even asked for anything. They just went, oh, shit, and gave up on the whole thing. Right? But if those ransom notes are from somebody and they sent one to TMZ, then it confuses the abduction for ransom goes wrong when that isn't how you do it. See? It doesn't really, I mean, Israel Keys did his own. He's different. You know, just because there was one older couple. I actually hadn't even known about that till recently. He was a strange killer, man. He tried to make it, obviously, he didn't want it to have a pattern of type. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, Roger, you never answered. There you go, you got something. Right. I guess what I would, if somebody could tell me that the FBI, those original ransom letters, the ones that Savannah was replying to, if those are absolutely been proven to be false, then I would go, I'd probably lean towards an abduction for ransom goes wrong and the person didn't even try to get a ransom because there's, you know, the risk reward is too great. You know, like if somebody's still alive and you get caught, well, you just, you know, abducted them for ransom. You know, your jail sentence isn't murder or anything like that, but she dies and then all of a sudden you're still going to try to get that, which might lead to you instead. You just wipe your hands and get the hell out of Dodge. You see, and then you're not, it's hard to catch somebody like that. But if they're real, then you start thinking, then this guy just wanted the publicity because that started right at the beginning. TMZ, TMZ, TMZ. Yeah, so her being removed from the home, and if the ransom is real and he was writing to TMZ, that's a strange. Those two elements are, they create issues. Mm-hmm. So that, I guess that's a huge thing for us to know, right? Hey, thanks Marty's Bar and Grill for the other bucket of coffee there. Thank you. Oh my God, the math ain't mathin'. Can't stand that phrase, man. My God, you guys. People are look at this thing right here. I keep getting the same people psychotically. Look at right here, you guys. Look at Pima County Sheriff Department, Arizona evidence submission. Well, what does submission mean? Is this like somebody types this in and it says missing endangered adult at 1:31, and then down below it describes Nancy Guthrie, January 31st at 7 p.m. That's a typo, right? How come people can't just go, yeah, that's a typo. That should be February 1st at 7 p.m. Right? It's just a freaking typo. But people are acting like, see, there was something. What? Let me ask you something. If this really happened on January 31st at 7, and she was actually over, and then you think the family is that stupid, where they would call in and say, hey, Nancy Guthrie's missing, but we're going to tell you she's still at our house and we're dropping her off at 9:48. Instead, you just look at it and go, yeah, that's supposed to be February 1st. I mean, who the hell? Oh, look. Well, it looks like you guys reported her missing. That's why we knew about it at 7 p.m. on January 31st. Right, but she was over at our house, so we didn't. See, it's just a freaking typo, you guys. I don't know why. It's just, this is the kind of stuff that it actually makes me angry, because people run with it for days and days and days, and they just can't use common sense, you know. Of course, it's a typo. Yeah. And then a sheriff apparently at one point said, yeah, we were there Saturday night. Well, hell, maybe that's why it was a typo. You know, you ever think of that? They weren't there Saturday night. They were there Sunday night. It's just an error. But I get this one person that just keeps sending me emails about it. And see, that's a conspiracy nutter at that point. There is no chance that that's true. All right? Wow. Just quit sending me stuff on it. Oh, boy. Who told you the drummer is missing? What? Who are you talking to? Now, you guys aren't talking about the band again, are you? Whole videos on this crap, you know. Hey, guys, look at that. The sheriff said they were there late Saturday night. Look at this. The report says 7 o'clock at night on the 31st is when she was reported missing. How is that possible? When she was missed church the next morning, and that's when they called, right? And then she was dropped off at 9:48. How is that possible? Well, let me ask you this. Why would the family call in the missing person report at 7 o'clock on Saturday, only to tell the sheriff, hey, yeah, she's supposed to go to church in the morning? Just think through it, man. Think through it. Yeah, okay, you really think it's a random psychosexual deviant? Yeah. Well, you know, that's in that serial killer area. Just a crazy nut job. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched somebody sent me an email about Corey Richins. I don't know. We covered Corey Richins when it happened, figured it all out, you know, and the trial started today. And I just don't have the time to sit there and cover the whole trial. It's just not that interesting to me. I think it's so obvious. It's one of those cases that's so obvious, you know. And she's going to be found guilty and get the maximum penalty, okay, in that case. I know people are interested in it, but I just don't have the time, you know, to do it. You know, that's just the reality. You know, I watched the opening arguments today. Just open and shut case. I mean, this lady, just absolute psycho, you know. I remember at the time even saying, man, she must be seeing somebody else. And I didn't even know that, but that's exactly what she was doing. And she was just, she's one of those crazy people. What am I supposed to do with that one, you know? I don't have an open mind at all. Yeah, look at Corey Richins killed her husband, and she did it intentionally. There's no doubt at all. This isn't one of those ones, well, she's innocent until proven guilty, Gray. Right. Okay, yes, that's how the law is, but the factual elements that have already been presented There is zero doubt that she did it. Okay? So, it's just like Kohberger. Kohberger would have been interesting for me, a trial, because there were so many things we had no idea about. And that's kind of what they're doing in the Corey Rich, the opening arguments. They had a lot of different things that I hadn't heard of, but at the same time, it's the same sort of thing. I mean, she was absolutely nuts. The whole fake book thing. Remember that? Yeah, blood in his hand at the door. Who's saying stuff like that? Where do you guys come up with this stuff? Honestly. Hey, welcome, Chicken Wing. The guy behind the mask looks a lot like On. What does that mean? I think it was after the abduction. He seems to move as though he is sore from the event. What are you talking about? How do you know how anybody's moving after the event? This isn't after the abduction here. What are you referring to? There's no video of him after the abduction for you to say he looks sore. You guys see what I have to deal with here? Put a 1 if you guys are like, I don't know how, I don't know how Gray deals with these people. It's just, it's unreal, really. I don't know, Lisa. But you can just, hey, Lisa, you have to pretend it's okay with you, though, okay? Oh, man, it's just, Hey, thanks, Chicken Wing, for the gifted membership. Here, do you guys want me to show you how I was doing this earlier? Here, watch. It's pretty interesting, actually. Watch. All right, so let's just find, like, that one right there. That's one of the only times that you literally see almost the entire arch is, I think it's right there. See that? See, fill the screen. All right, we'll just go like this. So I'm going to come in here. Just like that. All right, I got that one. So save as, we'll just call that one 1. And then to get the rest of it, so then this one, that's a good one. Yeah, I guess, see, I think better one is about right. Problem is he's got that damn light on the whole time. Maybe, oh, he doesn't have it on there. So that's good right there, that one. So then do the same thing. Take this one. All right, just like that. And we'll call that one 2. All right, so now what we're going to try to do is do a I got this one, copy, file, new, all right, see. All right, so you have that one, and this one. A, bring it over the top. So now these are both on the same one. Both of these are, there's a layer on top of the other one, I think. Oh wait, no, this is where I meant to. Let me go back to the other one and remove that. Alright. So you're right here, and then you zoom in, and then you can just, you change the transparency down. See, look at that. But see how the arch is moving? So that means I'm off a little bit, but the images are the same size. So just by looking at that, I can kind of slide it up in there so it's exactly the same. And then, look at that. That arch isn't even moving. If it is, it's like a tiny, tiny amount. But I think that's even just kind of interesting just looking at that, isn't it? See that? Two different, like, look, there he is. He's right there. In the same shot. So this one is, if I make it fully, let's see. So I should be able to, since this one is on top, I could just basically erase this guy, and then you'll see the scene behind it, and there's nothing there at all. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's crazy how that works. Then you can go like that even, but see, now that's a little different lighting in here, which makes it sort of interesting. You know, it kind of makes it difficult because the lighting's different. But let's see, go like that, and you can see his foot right there. But then that's different. See, it's a little bit. How did I do this? I think I can just go. Yeah, this whole thing even. Look, all the way over here. See, now it's just the little darker version. And then he's over here, so I don't want to mess with that too much. Okay, let's see what happens. See, he's right there. See that? Yeah, he's over there too. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of I should have just left the. Let me just go back out. Yeah, so there you go. You have a scene now that's literally exactly the right size and everything. And I'm going to go crop it right here to right there. Image crop. And see, that's it. But look how there's not a soul in it. Nobody's in this one, right? So then what you do is you take the image of him. Is this interesting for you guys? I like doing this kind of stuff. And let's see, Nancy Guthrie. And then here is what they released. Just this one shot like this, right? And if you look, though, the lights over there are the same. So I was using that earlier. Where you can come in, and if I change the transparency on this, slide it over, see those? So that's probably too big. Maybe if I make it, let's do the full monitor, then you can see it. If I put that there, now you can see it's not lining up very good, the whole rest of the arc. Yeah, so he's too big still, so I need to make him smaller. There you go, looking a little bit better right there. That's getting real close. Slide it up there. Oh, that's good. And then down here is a good place. So that looks pretty good right there. Let's see. Pretty close. Look at that. We're getting real close there. Now that's like, boom, almost. I think it needs to be a little bit smaller. It's so close. Aha, look at that. Boom. There you go. So there it is. That's, you know, now you can see the whole shot. That's what he looked like. And then I can make him full on, you know, boom, like that. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's exactly what the shot looked like with him in it right there. They just cropped it. And now we have this line here, unfortunately, but that's just the way it's got to have to be, because that's how they gave it. I could do something where, nah, that wouldn't work. That's it's a little, yeah, that the arch is perfect, but it's a little bit off. Let's see my other version that I had over here. I think it's this one. So that's perfect. Him in there. Look at that. I mean, that doesn't move at all. None of the bricks or anything. So this is what I already done, or had done earlier. See that? It's pretty good, though. You know? So you look at that, and that's probably one of the creep. I might even frame this damn thing. It's so creepy looking. I think that'd be cool to have on, you know, sort of a crime scene wall somewhere, because it's just, that's likely one of the creepiest pictures I've ever seen, especially this one. You know why? Because he's not doing anything. It's the same philosophy I have when, if somebody's sitting on a park bench and they're smoking a cigarette and they look contemplative, you're like, okay. But if you see somebody on a park bench and they're doing nothing, they look like a psycho. You get what I'm saying? They don't have a book. They don't have a backpack. They don't have anything. They're just sitting on a park bench looking forward. They look like a nut job. And that's what this guy looks like right here. Okay? He doesn't look like somebody smoking a cigarette. He doesn't have a backpack on. He's not doing anything. He looks like a crazy person. Right. Michael Myers, you know. Sure. Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. You know, I've tried to make, you know, adjust the image, but it's a totally different lit night. So it is probably, I would say that it is probably a different night, you know. So there's no way to, like, I mean, right here, the tiles start looking good because those aren't affected by, if there is a light source outside. See right there, the tiles are almost perfectly, but it's darker out here. So maybe the, you know, people's moonlight story, although, you know, I guess it's not existent on that night, but it was on the night of Nancy's abduction. So maybe it was darker that night because there was no moonlight. Apparently that's what people are saying. And that's what's been said for quite a few days now. Yeah, just look at that. And this, and apparently, you know, if this isn't the same night, right? Now, where's the shoe guy? Look out! Look at those shoes, man. Man, look at that thing. That shoe looks so different than the other one. Now, if you look right there, this one pixel is a lot darker than this one. Now, I think what that pixel represents is the dark mind of a soulless wacko, you know, and these are the two eyeballs here, one on the right and the left. Yeah, maybe, you know, so what I told the guy, hey, maybe it is a different shoe on a different night. And who cares, okay? What difference does it make? It's not a different person. It's the same person. How do you know, Gray? Maybe there was a sale on balaclavas and sweatshirts, you bastard. Ooh. Yeah, you got me on that one, huh? They both bought the exact same gloves, sweatshirt, and balaclava over there at Walmart, and were surprised when they looked in the paper and they saw a guy wearing exactly the same clothing he was wearing, and thought, hell, you know what, Jim, that could have been me. Yeah, wow. That's amazing. And then when the cops go to his house after checking the sales record, he's going to say, that's funny you should say that. I thought the same thing. There was this guy that was wearing the exact same balaclava, sweatshirt, and gloves as I was on the 11th. I just happened to be looking. I thought she had a nice carpet there on the floor. And it was just a different guy. It's weird, you know. It's a lot of weird cases out there. Wow, this is one of them, huh? Yeah, it's the same person, right? Was it your theory now that it's basically confirmed that the photos are 2 nights? Well, it's not a, it's in newspaper articles, but the sheriff isn't, apparently he's not confirming it's a different night. He's saying it's from a different time, which is obvious. That's what I've always said. I said it was earlier in the evening. You know, it's almost irrelevant to the case. It's just, you know, the case starts for me at 1:47. That's when you put the puzzles together. 1:47, he's already parked his car down the street somewhere, maybe hidden off a side road. About at 1:47, while he's, you know, 1:45 or so, he's over here doing stuff with the plant. 1:47, removes the camera, disables it. Maybe smashes it, who knows. Then he goes back to his car and waits for 20 minutes or so to see if law enforcement will show up. And when they don't show up, he drives and parks his car right behind him in this picture in the background over there. And he parked it there. And that's exactly the reason he removed the camera, because he's moving the car to that position. And then he goes around, I'm going to go, he went around the other way, not the garage side, but he went around the back of the house and then hopped over a fence where the yard is. And then the camera that's on top of the pool house there, whatever you call that, it filmed him. He didn't know that that camera existed, but he likely saw the one above the garage at a previous time, so he avoided that. So what you would almost think is that in this case, the killer, or whatever you want to call him, abductor, he came in from the left and he never goes over here. Like, I think that is possible. I mean, it could be he, you know, I'm not sure how these trees work, but if he was nervous about this camera over here, he's probably going to try to avoid that. So I don't know how he would have to back in to get there. I don't know if that's what he would do. You know, he could have just driven around and went like this and took the chance, I guess, that camera. But it seems like he would have known by a previous time that this building had a camera on it. But either way, after determining that no cops were there, he pulls into this spot right here. And then maybe makes his way around like this, around the back, and then hops over this fence. Or, you know, it could even have been over here, and then he, you know, went over there, and then this camera picks up his movement at 2:12, and then he makes his way into the house, probably confronts Nancy right around 2:14 or so, and then whatever happens, you know, goes on in there from 2:14 to, you know, 2:27 or so, and then he makes her start moving out, and they walk down. She's dripping blood. She comes out, coughs up blood here, has her walk. He's on her right side, which is the left of the screen here, and he doesn't ever step on her blood or anything. She's just dripping, dripping, dripping. Gets her into the car right here, and then drives out that way again. Isn't that crazy? And then maybe the person was there they went there to abduct her. Could be an abduction gone wrong scenario if the ransom notes are not real. Then it could have been an abduction gone wrong and they just never contacted police because they didn't intend to kill anybody. They just wanted to try to get some money, but now it's a much bigger case, so they just disposed of her, and or you'll never hear from him again. However, if you believe that the ransom notes, the first couple were true, then it could be something totally different, where it was something made to look like a ransom, and the person literally had was never even going to try to get a ransom, but wanted to make it look like it, and they wanted to see the media spectacle, and that's why they picked Nancy, the mother of a really famous person, Savannah. And that was just all their goal was to kill and to get a lot of publicity and feel popular or whatever it was, the rush from that, you know? What do you guys think of that? Isn't that wild? Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, I think he did come over around the back side. In fact, I think wherever he parked his car, you know, it might have been over here, and he waited somewhere in the bushes back here. Remember how they were always searching around in here for something? You know, and then I think he got his vehicle at some point, and that's when he moved it into position so that the car would be here for a minimal amount of time. Maybe 16 minutes instead of 41 like everyone originally thought. Yeah, I'd move out of there too. Yeah, so apparently there's a camera on this house that they were looking at. I mean, so maybe they did drive in like this and up. Not sure, you know, what, like this bush here might block a car, and they knew that. Because, I mean, if you have a camera right there, is it really going to pick up a vehicle coming in right here? Or would it really be for a car coming around and making its way into this area? That camera that was on that side. It's pretty interesting, you know. But here's the thing, if he did surveil it at one point and walk over here and see that, he should be on camera somewhere else looking at that camera. That should be another clip unless it was written over. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Legally Blonde. Why wouldn't he go over anywhere? What does that even mean? Why wouldn't he just go over the half-wall patio area on the side? You mean right here? Yeah, we've gone over this. That's what I used to think he jumped over. But there's a camera right here. Wouldn't that have picked up motion too? And then when he went in the yard, this one would have picked him up. But they only said one picked him up. So doesn't it make more sense then that he hopped over the fence here, avoiding this camera, and then was picked up by that one just before he enters the house after 2:12. All right, so I don't want to have to explain it again with the rebuttal because there isn't any. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I just explained it. He jumped over right here, the wall. That's the wall, half wall into the patio area. Oh boy. Whew. Yeah. All right. And asking why wouldn't somebody do something that you think that they should have done isn't really useful. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what do you get out of that? I don't know. Well, I went to school with him. I went to school with his friend, and his friend said, yeah. Well, that's not what he did. You're talking about this one right here? This thing? Yeah. He didn't go in that way. The back door was wide open. Yeah, that's incorrect. All right, let's see. Didn't they give a date range to neighbors? Yeah, January 11th and January 31st. And I guess, to the early morning hours of February 1st. But apparently, if you listen to these nut jobs, they should have been checking on January 31st at 7 o'clock in the evening. Because that's apparently, even before that, because that's when it was reported, everybody. It couldn't just be a typo. We can make a much better, cooler story to tell people if it's later, or earlier, an earlier time than was ever reported. Now, let me ask you guys something. How in the hell was Nancy reported missing before 7 o'clock on Saturday by a family member when the whole story is changed the next day? You don't think they'd all be arrested right now already? Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, around the back over here is where I think they may have gone. However they got there, they got there. I don't think they came around this side. I think they came around the back here. Speculating. Oh, hey, did you jump? Maybe I think it was the one over here, this wall. Maybe I think it was this one. No, I think it was right in the corner there. I'm just saying, I think it's over this wall over here. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it could be UFOs, aliens. Don't forget Bigfoot there. There apparently is a way on the left side. Yeah. Didn't they give a date range to neighbors? Yeah, this is never a real thing. We're all going to wake up in a month and go, wow, that we all dreamed. Where is it?
Stupid is being nice. You're an absolute moron.
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Man, I think that's like one off comment right there, right? I bet you that's never been said ever by a sex worker in the history of mankind other than to Cairo. When the lady said, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be. Can you ever think of another scenario where a sex worker would have said those exact same words? I just don't see it, man. Maybe at a Star Wars convention. Yeah. So if you don't know what that is, our buddy, we haven't seen him in years now, but Cairo, he used to drive around and repair cell towers during COVID, and he stayed at a hotel, and he walks outside the door, and that's what you're hearing, him opening up a door of the hotel to go out and smoke a cigarette. And right when he opens up a door, a sex worker is sitting on the ground. I've seen the video of it, and she makes a sound that sounds like, and then Cairo said, Chewbacca? And then she says, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to. Right? So now listen to it again, knowing that that's how the story went. You can hear it all take place.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
That's the funniest damn thing in the world, man. Yeah, she did nail that. I was like, it was an incredible Chewbacca. But what made her think of doing that even? Yeah, she really was a sex worker, though. That's the thing. She literally, that's what she was doing there. I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be. I mean, ask any guy in here. There's not one time where we said, late night, you're sitting around, boy, I wish I had a woman that looked like Chewbacca. That's not one time. Well, maybe that one time when you had a couple too many drinks. Yeah. Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there was that one time, you know, you had the beer goggles on. I mean, even at the zoo, Chewbacca was looking pretty good, you know. He thought, yeah, right. No way. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then, yeah, the Alec Murdoch one. This one right here.
Huh?
See, that's Alec Murdoch.
Huh?
He says that when his son asks him questions while he's in prison. He goes,
Huh?
wow. And then this statement right here, look at it.
It's a house. It's a house.
That's Alec Murdoch, too. When the 911 caller dared to ask him after the murders, she said, so do you live in a house or a trailer? And he was so, like, offended that he comes back with,
it's a house.
How dare you say that it was a trailer, you know? I mean, that almost immediately made him seem guilty to me. I mean, who the hell cares about something like that on a 911 call?
It's a house.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's funny. Baz B, he could have been asleep for 4 hours. The second you play this,
huh? It's a house.
He jumps right out of bed, man. Like he hadn't even made a comment the whole night. This guy was out cold, dead to the wind. As soon as that played, boom, like a ghost risen from the grave, he pops up and gives you a chuckle, you know. That's amazing. The response was true feeling. How dare you? It was a house.
It's a house. It's a house. Huh? It's a house.
That's right, Bazby. I mean, out cold. I bet you if you didn't see Bazby for 3 months and you just played, huh? Boom. He's right there. It's like rubbing a genie bottle or something. Yeah.
You know, that's just one step above stupid. There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Yeah. Should we play, while there's people here, do you guys want to hear that song that they, where is that one? Oh yeah, there it is. So let's play it. This is the music written for my show. Listen. All right, let's see. It's pretty good, really. I'm gonna have to put some. Oh yeah. Yeah, get those lighters out. Oh yeah, here we go.
Late night, center in the gray zone.
The gray zone, man.
Chasing every clue, like blue with a bone. It's the twist,
Blue with a bone.
turns, the secrets they keep, falling down rabbit holes. It's a crime to sleep. I'm a freak.
It's a crime to sleep.
Got a curious mind, and I dive in deep. I'm a freak, yeah, I'm a freak, but I'm not alone. There's millions just like me. Yeah, I'm a freak, and I'm proud to be. Lumen hole on crime scene walls. Silence screams through empty halls. We've got great taste, born to invent.
You guys are all freaks. That guy named Keegan did this.
There's a whole world of people who think like me. Yeah, I'm a freak and I'm proud to be
A freak. Proud to be freaks.
Call us strange, call us obsessed, but we're just curious minds doing what we do best. It's not the danger, it's the story beneath the hunt for the answers that makes us the freaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a freak. Yeah, I'm a freak.
Yeah. That was by a person named Keegan. He wrote the words, and then I've actually done this on one of these sites out there. You put it in there, and then it writes the whole music and adds a voice and everything. And so he wrote the lyrics, and then had the rock and roll, whatever you call it, AI make that. Isn't that crazy? I thought it was pretty good. I like it. But if I played it at the beginning, isn't it too long? You know? Like 2.5, it's like 2.5 minutes. Because I want to make something at the beginning that I think is this beat here, though. Listen. For the beginning. And then maybe at the end you do the freak one, though. Or maybe for my videos I could have... Like for my videos, maybe this would be cool... Right, like have this for my videos. Watch. So at the beginning of video, but then you can picture different like clips being played as this is going. Listen. So it's like, and another one, another one, another one. I think this is the sweetest little beat I've ever heard, man. I love this one. Yeah. Boom. Right? Wouldn't that be cool at the beginning of a video or something? But the freak one, I don't know. It's weird. It seems like maybe that'd be good for like a break. You know, if I have a break or something, I can play that, or I don't know. Or at the end. I like it. It's a really cool song that Keegan wrote. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how I mean, but I need to put the music to people. I mean, like, you know, crime scene stuff that we've done or whatever. You know, even the song, you know, Luminol. He brought up blue in there. That was funny. Yeah. So, anyways. How long have we been on here for? What time is it? Oh, 2:54. Hey, it's getting pretty near the end, I guess. So, what else do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, I was going to turn that into a video where, like, there's images from different shows that we've done or whatever. Mm-hmm. Could have on the beat. Yeah, I mean, I could have like doom 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 doom. Like I would show some of my animation stuff that I've done, different, and that would be the intro. I kind of want to change the intro to the show. You know, I probably don't need to do the falling down hearts or any of that stuff like I used to do. Just do the, you know. Boom. Doom, 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 doom. Or maybe that goes first and then on the crime scene photos for Idaho 4. Yeah, I mean that little spooky music. Yeah, I don't use that. You can't really, it's not really punchy enough for an intro or anything. But yeah. Maybe we can do a members only show and we can work on it. The intro with that the beat music, you know, this one right here. You know, it's weird because that's part of let's see, this program right here. It's this one. Let's see. How do I grab it? Yeah, it's like all these different sound. There's all these different sounds on here. You know, like see that? You know, there's like a million different things in here using voice mod. But that just happened to be, it's like a, I can't remember where it was located, but it was one of these, not that one. No. Yeah, so I don't know exactly where it was. No. It might be in here. There it is. See, this is what it sounds like here. I just took it from this. Listen. Then it turns into junk after this cool sound. Look at that garbage. You hear that? Yeah, so I just recorded it and then looped it. Screw that part. What the hell is that? I wonder if it does it again later. You know what other song reminds me of that? Like you just butchered it. Was Golden Slumber by the Beatles. The way that song starts is so great. And then it just turns into they ruined it. Yeah, but you see how that sounded there? It wasn't really that great, that music. Can you guys hear this? Spooky. They have all kinds of look at these are all different types of farts. I mean, what kind of a... Hey, thank you so much. Amy's Justice League. Hey, very kind of you. Thank you so much. Does it stop working? Oh, it stopped connecting, even to my keyboard. But anyways, so I took that audio and I made it into just like that, and I just looped it right after that. I just started it over again. So I think it worked pretty good. Watch. See? That's way better than what they did. Ding! You know, they just turned it into whatever the hell that was. Yeah, I can do a call-in tomorrow. Yeah, wait, I said I'd give this case a month. We are on, and if, you know, if there's updates, if we're starting to get some progress after the month, then we'll keep going. But if we're just sort of, you know, this is crazy that this is taking so long. You know. I mean, I won't drop it, you know. We might do updates of any articles and stuff, but then we'll, you know, start adding other stuff in too, you know. Let me see if I open that up again. Will it work? There we go. Yeah, people just they're still playing Charlie Kirk's shooting as if there's something weird about it. These people are crazy. Okay, it's one of the simplest, most obvious cases in the history of true crime. Let's see, where's that? Control Alt Delete. Task Manager. Gotta shut down this voice mod. Don't see it. Inton said he was asking people if the case was going cold, and they said no, just a little chilly. Well, that doesn't even sound good, you know.
Huh? Did you hear what I said?
Give it a second. Quit stream deck. Now none of that works, and let's try to open it up again. Maybe it'll reconnect everything. We will see. It's trying, it's searching. Oh. Didn't work. Weird. Oh no, can't get the sound effects to work anymore. Even though it connected. Just didn't work. If I went in here and I tried to see that is there. It's got the right setting on it. But if you try to get it to work, man, it just goes nuts. It just sounds so loud. Starts looping on itself. If you do a test in there. What does that mean, Mountain Man 2? What are you trying to say, man? You're starting to type weird stuff, and we're gonna have to get rid of you in a minute. Type in a normal sentence and. This guy worried about that too. If this guy's got the reaction he wanted, right? Well, also, you know, if this is a ransom gone wrong, then this person bailed. Okay, they'll try something else another time because if it went wrong, And they didn't ever contact police because at that point you are, like, let's say he got her out of there alive, but then she died later. Yeah, he's not going to get a hold of them because if they catch him, it's, you know, Arizona, and you know, I don't know if, I think they have the death penalty there. I don't know. I don't remember, but the yeah, they have the death penalty in Arizona. And he's going to put him on his trail. But in this case, he can just go, oh shit, it didn't work. And he just, it's worth the risk if their person is alive, because if you can get the millions, and even if you're caught, well, really it's just a kidnapping, and you know, you might get 20 years out in 10, right? This, if she's dead, this person's going to get the death penalty. So you just wash your hands of it and get the hell out of there, right? That's what you would do in a scenario where it was a ransom gone wrong. If it was a ransom, you know, if the person went in there just to make it look like a ransom, because he was just going in there to kill, and he was just doing it for the glory and the fun and see the reaction, then it's a whole different ball game. You know, she's likely not still alive, but it's a different scenario. What's everybody laughing at? Let's see. Yeah, I don't even know what you're writing, Mountain Man. Mountain Man 2. Lots of peels. Pills. I was taking peels. Oh, pills. Oh. Oh, jeez. Alright, guys. I think that's going to do it tonight. I want to thank everybody for helping out, making it a successful night. Let's see, we had Cheryl Bullock gifted a membership, KMTX, and we had Joel Burnt gift one, then Wild Bill Wassman gift a membership, then Tamsters super chat, Self-Esteem super chat, Alley Cake gifted one, Saint Jop, then we had Elizabeth Brown gifted 5 memberships, and then she's been a member for 11 months. Amazing. Then Saint Jop super chat, Betty Black super chat, Chugga Flop super chat, Ga Boat, Georgia Boat Girl, Ga Boat Girl, oh Nyaul, from the movie Caveman. All right. Susan Smith, not the Susan Smith, super chat. Then Elizabeth Brown, and then Wild Bill Wassman. Then Betty Black. And I guess in the scenario where it could be an abduction gone wrong, I mean, a family member could have been involved in helping the person, meaning not abduction, a ransom gone wrong. A family member could have been involved in trying to help get him out, you know, get her out. And then Bella Exchange gifted one, and then Betty Black gifted one again, and then Random Bogey. I hate getting those random bogeys. Par, and out of nowhere you 3-putt for that random bogey. Elizabeth Capone, super chat. Charlotte Denny. Then we have Saint Jop. Then Bella Exchange. Then Shelky. Wild Bill Wassman. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 5 right there. And then, yeah, there's no proof of life. They were willing to pay for a body, but then as soon as you start sending emails, you might get caught more easily, and then it's like you get the death penalty. So it's like, yeah, just get the hell out of there, right? But see, that's us believing that the ransom notes, the first 2 or 3 that were sent, were real, you know. So we got Betty Black, Tamsters gifted 5. Chugga Flop, new member. Then Kathy Robinson gifted 1, and then Sandy Will. Then Charlotte Denny, out of nowhere, boom, did 10 gifted memberships. Then Roger Smith, and don't forget we also have Marty's Bar and Grill with a couple buckets of coffee, and we got one from coffee from Lisa Valenzuela. And then Roger Smith gifted 1. South Texas guy gifted 1. Susan Smith gifted 5. Not the Susan Smith. Betty Black gifted 1. Chris O'Connell gifted 5. I think we were doing some challenges in here. And then Bridget Stack gifted 1. Then I gifted 5. Then Chicken Wing became a new member. Chicken Wing gifted 1. Then Chicken Wing 22 months. Then Wild Bill Lossman gifted 1. And then Amy's Justice League did a super chat. Very cool. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Hey, tonight I didn't even have to ask that many times. That was pretty good. I mean, not as many as some other nights, you know. Oh yeah, Anadarko. Remember that? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Where is Cairo, man? Remember that? He'd always do the Anadarko oil. That they're somehow behind everything. That's funny. Forgot about that. I'm going to have to try calling him. Yeah, look at that. Wild Bill Wassman didn't have to run the show tonight to get us there. So that was pretty amazing. Thanks, guys. Not that he has to do anything. He just does it to be kind. But, you know, he probably felt like, all right, I could have a little bit of a break. That's right. The Freak family. Yeah. I wonder why this one's it's not working. Anyways, thanks everybody. Hope you found the show interesting. So again, you know, we went over some really good theorizing tonight, I think. And then here's what it would have looked like on the full shot of the guy. You know, that was the same. You know, it's the same person, but on a different night, apparently. Right there. Really, 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 really creepy image there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Here, let me try one thing on here. So what happens if I went like this and then said that almost worked. Look at that. I was just trying to like do a reverse, like remove all the background around him. That's where he'd be standing, but that's not. It doesn't look good. That looks creepier like that. Put it in the super question. What was it? I guess you're just not really that interesting, Baptist Joshua. You ever thought of that? Yeah, I'm sure they've tried to look at everything that you could ever think of. No, they're so stupid they didn't think of looking at the roadside license plate readers. You know, they're just absolute morons. They never looked at it. They've got them there, and they went, well, you know, let's not look at the license plate readers. Yeah. God. Unreal. You know, we're trying to end the show, Baptist Joshua, so when you type in stuff like, you know, no one cares to respond to me, Well, maybe we're not looking at that. I'm just kind of winding down the show, thinking of stuff to say, you know. Yeah, I know the feeling, though. I gotta admit, I know the feeling. There's shows where I'm going and I'm talking about all this stuff, and I look in the chat and there's not a soul saying a damn thing. And then I say, are you guys even watching? You know, so I know the feeling, man. I feel your pain. You're talking about me, what? I'm not paying to make a statement. Well, well, you just said you were. And by the way, you say, I'm not paying to make a statement. Well, there's super chats for people to ask questions, but I don't really, nope, people don't ever seem to use it for that here. Other channels, that's all they do, is they put a question, and it's great, too, because it allows the person doing the show to answer and, you know, then start a conversation on that, but we don't seem to get that very much. It was me, Gray, what? I don't get it. I try to get chat talking when I'm here, but they don't respond a lot. Yeah. It was a giant moon, so the people coming up to the door had been a different day. Yeah, we already know that. It's the same person, though. So when you say the people, there aren't people, Sam. There's just one person. It's the same person both times. So when you type in people, you're already implying something that isn't true. You know, so. If you paint or tape, you risk leaving something behind for them to track. Right. But who's talking about paint or taping? Right, but if you see people out there talking about this report that's on July 30, or not July, January 31st at 7 o'clock, it's just a typo, and they're making a huge deal out of it. And plus, the sheriff said, "Yeah, we got there Saturday night," and then they're using that. See, that's what that really was, and it's not. You know, it's not. It's not true. Okay. She wasn't even missing yet. Yeah, I've seen Sandy was here yesterday. She's always here. A ton of people were driving in and out of the neighborhood that night. All right, it's 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday night. Saturday night is the day she went missing. So I could see people typing in. I mean, it's not really Saturday night, but you know when you say night, you're actually referring also sometimes to early Sunday. You know. Yeah, I was out really late last night. You hardly ever say, wow, I was up really early this morning still. You know, nobody talks like that. So anyways, and it's just, you know, she was removed from the house at 2:28 on Sunday. I just can't believe people are literally trying to sell that story. That it literally, how come they said she was missing on January 31st at 7? Man, I can create a lot of content with this. Video after video. It's going to be amazing. Where was the storm? If you use paint or tape, you risk leaving something behind. The camera system of a tamper. Use greenery, the camera. Think storm. I don't know. I think the camera just reacts to motion. It is gaining traction. I got this one nut job. She just keeps sending me over and over and over and over again the same. It's crazy. The same thing over and over again. about it, you know. You know, like their thing today, it said, well, if the scanner disproved the clown lady, because that's what I called the person, then why was it confirmed today by law enforcement that the photo without the backpack was actually from Saturday, January 31st? No, they didn't confirm that. They didn't confirm that. That's not what they were saying. And the other photo with the backpack was from Sunday, February 1st. Why did Sheriff Nano say in the earlier press conference Saturday when the abduction occurred on February 1st? He didn't misspeak. Look at the attached screenshot from the Pima County evidence portal. It was submitted at 7 p.m. on Saturday the 31st. And stop being such a grump. Hey, look, it's garbage, okay? You can try to explain it 1,000 times. It was an error, okay? That's probably the date they wrote on the report, not the date it was, you know, put in there. And if it was, then their system is messed up. There's no way that's a real thing. Let's see. And nobody said that this was from the 31st, this one, and the other one was from, it wouldn't surprise me if it was earlier, you know, like 11:30 at night or something. They're walking around, then later they came back again, you know. Maybe when they first came by, they could see she was still awake. It was 11 o'clock or something, and she hadn't had her chamomile tea yet, and looked in there and saw that she was still moving around, and then later came back. You know, that wouldn't be a shock. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to take off. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you tomorrow, all right? Who knows what tomorrow will bring. But anyways, thank you guys all very much for being so generous, supporting the channel, and keeping us moving forward here. Hopefully we can have a good end of the month coming up. Thanks for being here, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And that's where I would play the doom 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 doom.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector.
Not even one, Gray!
Not even one.
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector,
and I'm always gonna be a protector.
Deflector, interceptor,
and I'm mean on a specter with a vector.
On his pector, with all respect, ya. Just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
By the way, that's Lori Daybell dancing there, if you're wondering.
So I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right, thanks, everybody. See you guys later. I have no sound effects, so I'm just going to have to say goodbye. See you guys later. And let me see, what do I have any in here? All right, I got that one.
Are you angry at me?
Don't ask dumbass questions.
And Grits for Brains here shoots him. Did you hear what I said?
Okay, there we go. All right, thanks.